The sixth order of the day is a motion on the need to promote sustainable practices and green projects in government ministries, departments, and agencies. Standing in the name of Honorable Daniel Amos, Honorable Amos is hereby invited to move the motion.
Speaker, my distinguished honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Daniel Amos. I represent the very peaceful people of Jemaah Sangha Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am your brother from Kaduna State. My motion is on the need to promote sustainable practices and green projects in government ministries, departments, and agencies, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Mepal.
Honorable colleagues, Kabiru Ahmadu Mepal is my name. I represent the entire people of Gusau Ife Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Zamfara State. I rise to support this motion, ably moved by Chairman.
Honorable Kaoje, you're welcome. You're most welcome.
I so support, sir.
Note that the major environmental concerns in Nigeria include pollution, flood, desertification, soil erosion, and loss of biodiversity, which affects Nigeria's ecosystem and communities. Also note that Nigeria stakeholders, which include ministries, departments, and agencies, consumers, and organizations in Nigeria, need to play a pivotal and critical role in shaping sustainable practices as their actions directly impact the environment and future well-being of our citizens. Further notes, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that the sustainable practices and green projects initiatives focus on conservation, afforestation drives, renewable energy adoption, waste reduction, ecosystem restoration, and waste recycling programs tailored to our local context. Aware that Nigeria is a signatory to the 2015 UN Climate Change Conference COP21 Paris Agreement, which it ratified in 2017 and formulated its nationally determined contributions, NDCs, it announced its net zero commitment by 2060 in 2021, following the enactment of the Climate Change Act. Also aware, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that carbon credits represent 1 metric ton of carbon dioxide on greenhouse gas, GHG, emissions removed from the atmosphere. Global value of the voluntary carbon market is estimated at about $2 billion in 2022 and is widely expected to grow by a factor of at least $15 billion by 2030, as governments and companies seek to use it to offset to help achieve net zero emissions, Mr. Speaker. Further aware, these credits motivate companies and organizations to engage in activities that benefit the climate by either reducing emissions or prevent them. Informed that the African Carbon Market Initiative predicts Nigeria could generate over $500 million annually by 2030, supporting over 3 million Nigerian jobs through this industry. Also informed, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that investment in sustainable green projects will create jobs, stimulate innovation, and contribute to Nigeria's economic development. An estimate of resources pledged to major climate change advocacy organizations such as the Green Climate Fund, the Global Environment Facility, the Adaptation and the Climate Investment Funds, put the total value of green funds at $23 billion for 2024. This includes other sources of finance, such as bilateral and multilateral aid, private sector investment, and domestic resources. Cognizance, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, that encouraging green practices is crucial for a sustainable future for Nigerians and fulfilling domestic and international climate obligations. Also cognizance that integrating green projects into government operations can contribute to global goals and reap economic and environmental benefits through commitment, coordination, and long-term vision. The House resolves as follows. 1. Mandate the House Committee on Climate Change as lead, Renewable Energy, Environment, and Ecological Fund to work with the executive to educate citizens, companies, and MDAs to embrace sustainable practices in the design and execution of their projects and programs. 2. Mandate the House Committee on Appropriation to work with the Ministry of Budget and Planning to incentivize MDAs to adopt sustainable practices by A. Ensuring MDAs that engage in sustainable practices in their operations and/or executed projects with carbon credit potentials are given additional funding over their budget envelopes in the next year, starting from 2025. The carbon credit potentials, the projects, sorry, Mr. Speaker, I take that again. The carbon credit potentials of the projects and programs should be established at the conception stage and form part of their submission to Federal Executive Council. B. Creating a separate budget envelope annually based on green funds secured from DFIs, development partners, multilateral agencies, etc., and distributed to the aforementioned MDAs. 3. Mandate the National Climate Council to enforce the requirement for all MDAs and companies with 50 staffs and above to have a sustainable plan and effectively implement it. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Amos, if we are on the other side, based on the eloquence and precision of this motion, I would have added a prayer that the Honorable Daniel is requesting that she be moved to the Committee on Climate Change to chair and lead all these beautiful suggestions. But if you will do it on your own, I'll be very happy.
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, my distinguished colleagues, I, Zakaria Dauda Nyampa, ably stand to second the motion ably moved by my neighbor, Honorable Amos. Thank you. I so second.
Support of this motion as amended, she say aye. Those against, she say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the committees on